What's good, everyone? It's Miss Peep here. Today we are covering Anthony Brian Logan, a conservative YouTuber. His video today is transgender inmates in California must be housed by gender identity. I mean, that sounds good to me. There's an explanation point. I'm pretty excited. That sounds like a nice idea. So, we're gonna watch this video. All right, we got the neat intro.
My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about a new law in California that requires inmates to be housed in a penitentiary that matches their...
Hold on, I'm like trying to look at the background here. It's got like wooden flags. User's Guide to the Second Amendment. That's a Make America Great Again hat. Republican figure. YouTube play button. Cool stuff.
Gender identity. Now, this particular law was drafted by a guy by the name of Scott Wiener. And if that name sounds familiar, this is the same guy that says in the law that he authored that you can be a 24-year-old man and have relations with a 14-year-old boy. You might get locked up for that, but you won't be a sex offender because it's within the 10-year window. Okay, that's that same guy. And I'll place his picture right here on the screen before.
Okay, so he's not representing this accurately at all, dude. So I looked up this guy, Scott Wiener. I looked him up on Wikipedia. Also, his description, he cites the sources. It's his own website, but he does actually cite like some stuff in his website. So I looked him up on Wikipedia. And then I find an article in the Wikipedia. So I go to this, and I'm like, so sex offender registration reform effort promotes death threats, all right? And so I'm reading this article, and I'm like, what does this mean? So under existing law, if a teenager aged between 14 and 17 voluntarily has vaginal intercourse with a partner within 10 years of the person's age, the judge decides whether the offender who violated statutory rape laws is required to register as sex offenders. So what this means is, considering the circumstances, considering the way the case is, if a boy and a girl in the 10-year gap that they were talking about, if they're aged between 14 and 17, they're minor, right? If they have voluntary intercourse, right, with a penis and a vagina, voluntary intercourse, the judge has discretion. The judge can decide, okay, in this situation, yeah, the person was a sex offender taking advantage of the person. In this situation, no, it wasn't quite like that. They were actually dating and they just got caught. Now, the thing is that if there's a case that involves oral, anal, and digital intercourse, the only type of intercourse gay people can have, the judge has no discretion. The judge has no discretion. So this dude is just trying to make the law fair and give the judge discretion within these certain cases because it disproportionately impacts LGBTQ people. Because they can't, if you get two gay guys, right, you're not really, that's like two penises. The only thing you can do is oral, anal, and digital intercourse. That's it. Those are the only options you have. So no matter what, you're a sex offender under the default law. And the new law makes it to where they also get discretion, just as straight couples do. Or not couples, but people in a situation. So, yeah, and here's the actual law. I found the bill text, I believe. So, I don't know, I guess I'll link this in the description. But already, misinformation. And also, I don't know, I guess these are supposed to be weird pictures of him or something. He's wearing a vest. I don't see the problem, though.
So you kind of understand what kind of guy we're dealing with?
What kind of guy we're dealing with. Dude, he's just out here with his vest on and his tie.
Drafted this law. And we know about Gavin Newsom. That's Nancy Pelosi's nephew. You got a whole corrupt crime family.
I
A
don't
bunch
care
of
about
crazy,
Nancy
ridiculous,
Pelosi.
far leftist activists in
Nancy
government.
Pelosi
All
is
right.
a far leftist activist. Listen, I don't know a single leftist who likes Nancy Pelosi. Okay, Nancy Pelosi is dumb. You're not a real leftist if you don't hate Nancy Pelosi. These are facts.
Right. Newsom, Pelosi, Weiner, all these people. But I digress. Let's get into the actual law. Now, the law states that when you're taken into intake by the police, they're going to ask you, hey, are you transgender, non-binary, intersex? And then after you answer that, you'll be able to go to a prison that matches your particular gender identity by your request.
That's
Okay.
pretty great. So if you get arrested and the police is like, okay, so what do you identify as? Oh, you identify as this? Okay, well, we have a specific place for you to go to. Yeah, that's cool.
Okay. Now, you could be denied because it could be a management or security issue, but they have to write a reason why you got denied.
So it's not like you can just say you're a girl and get into the girls' prison no matter what. You have potential to be denied. So already his title lied. He lied. It says that they must be housed by gender identity. He literally says in his own video that they can be denied. So already conservative man lies. Wow, who would have known?
And you have the right to appeal it. Now you have these so-called transgender activist groups that say that this law is needed.
So-called transgender activist groups. What do you mean by that? What are you trying to insinuate? Are they not transgender activist groups? No? Okay. I think he's trying to say they're bad. They're bad groups.
Not only in California, but also all throughout the country, because what if you have quote-unquote transgender women, meaning men?
Whoa. Quote unquote transgender woman, meaning men. He's not even trying to hide it. He's actually mentally deficient. Like, I don't know how you could be this dumb. If you could just be this blatantly transphobic. Oh, he's bad. He's bad. This man has no regard. He does not care. He loves being stupid. Just look at him. He loves it. I'm sure he goes to bed at night and he goes, I'm stupid and I like it. And that's what gets him to sleep. Just my guess.
Men that identify as women being housed with the men, that's going to be a big time danger because they're going to be assaulted. And you know what?
Trans women in men's prison will get assaulted. Yeah, that's a problem.
But at the same time, they don't. And I'll explain that. I've not been to jail. I've not been arrested, but I know a little bit about the penitentiary from people I know that have gone personally and just from reading information about it. Now, the way it was back 20, 30 years ago, the whole thing about men that present as women being housed with other men.
They're not men. Trans women are women. This man doesn't understand. He doesn't understand it. Look at him. He just can't. His brain just doesn't work. My calculator has more computing power than this man. Just look. You can see it. It's obvious.
Would be a serious problem because they would get attacked. But nowadays, you have a lot of relationships going on in the penitentiary and it's voluntary. It's not so much, people being assaulted. That does happen, but it's less of that now and more relationships between men in the penitentiary that do not, and that does not involve.
Okay, so he's saying that nowadays there's more consensual relationships and it's not as much assault in prisons. And I haven't seen the data on this. He hasn't brought me any data on this, so I don't know how this is relevant. We're gonna move on.
Of any kind of violence to get to the point of a relationship. You understand what I'm saying?
No,
so you have
I don't
willing
understand.
Participants. I think the bigger danger is when you house men that identify as women.
Men that identify as women. They're not men. They're not men. I can't get myself.
They're women with biological women That's gonna be the
He said
danger.
it. He said it. We got biological women. Let's go. I could play bingo on this. Biological women. This man doesn't understand that sex is biological and that there are males and females. That's biology. And then there are men and there are women, and that's gender. Gender is social. Sex is biological. Therefore, you cannot have a biological woman. It just can't exist. That's not a thing. That's a myth. This man doesn't know. He doesn't know. He's been living a sheltered life. He just doesn't know. He doesn't have the knowledge. It's fine. We're moving on.
Because what's going to stop somebody who is going to the penitentiary?
I love it when they hit
from
the
saying,
biological
you know what, I
woman
identify as
card.
transgender. They could look like Ray Lewis when he was on the Ravens after the murder trial and say, you know what, nah, I identify as a woman. Put me in the penitentiary with the women.
Again, they can't just be dudes and be like, yeah, I'm a girl, put me with the girls. They can get denied if it's obvious that that's what they're doing. You said that yourself. You're aware of this fact. Do you have short-term memory loss? You should get help.
And they still got all their equipment. They're going to go to the women's facility, and it's going to be a problem. You're going to have some pregnant inmates.
There's going to be a problem? Okay, so he's claiming that trans women are just, they want to prey on cis women in the prisons. And I've seen data, I'll probably put it on screen, that although it's not exactly the same, with it's with bathroom laws. It's similar to where when trans women are permitted to go into the women's restroom, there's no indication of any assault going on from there. There's no evidence to indicate any of that. So, yeah, you might be seeing a graphic on screen right now, and if I find it, I'll link it in the description.
Have an ad seg where they have some inmates on one part of the penitentiary, some on the other. But if you're going to do all that, what's the point of even having them housed with the women? Because they're not really housed with other women. They house with other transgender or different, they got like a little, what they call it, alternative.
I like how now he's using the they them pronouns, but I think he's only using they them because there's multiple of them. But I don't know. I'll try to be charitable.
Alternative lifestyle unit. You're going to be in the different unit.
Alternative lifestyle.
Why not just have a penitentiary for people that have this so-called alternative lifestyle rather than having?
I don't know who calls like unironically says that I have an alternative lifestyle when they're gay or trans or whatever. I think it's just how they are. Like you don't think much about it. It's not like a lifestyle really you commit to. You just I don't know how to say what I mean. Like you just kind of do it. It's not like something you think about pursuing and getting better. Like I would consider if you're a professional sports player or something, like that would be a lifestyle, right? If you devote a lot of your life to like training and engaging in the sport, I would consider that an alternative lifestyle because most people don't typically do that, especially if it's very niche. So I don't know. If you're gay or whatever and you classify it as an alternative lifestyle, let me know in the comments. I'm actually really interested.
Of one jail for one particular biological sex. You understand what I'm saying?
Biological sex.
They also say that
that's
you
a term.
must be searched based upon your gender identity. Now, I'm not sure how that's going to work because we got some physical differences we got going on between each of the genders. All right, there's some physical differences.
Physical differences between genders. I don't know how valid that is as a sentence. It would be more correct to say physical differences between sex, right? But yeah, I guess genders present differently, but again, it's all subjective because gender is a social construct. I don't know. I'm being nitpicky.
If you are a male and you still have all your equipment, how will you be searched as a woman? When you get brought in the intake and they say squat and cough, and you got to lift your package. Your package. I mean, are you not going to do that because you identify as a woman? Are we going?
Nah, I think they just kind of search them. They search them, and I don't think that there's going to be really anything different about that. I don't know what he's going on about. I don't think it's going to be that complicated. Like, he's like, oh, what are they going to do? How are they going to do it? Like, I think they have it all figured out. I'd assume if they got this through, I think they'd have it all figured out.
Like you don't have male body parts? How does it
No, people don't do that.
People
don't pretend they don't have parts if they're trans or whatever. That is not something that happens. People are totally aware of what they have. No one's pretending that they don't. This is a very strange misconception. So, yeah.
You can't just say, you know what, I identify as a woman, therefore I am, and therefore I have a woman's body. It's like, no.
Okay, so you could say you identify as a woman. If you identify as a woman, you are a woman. Yeah, that was correct. But then you don't say, I have the body of a woman. I mean, a cis woman, if we're going to be specific. Yet no one says that they have a cis body of the opposite gender. Nobody says that. Again, misinformation, and all the people in these comments are totally buying it.
You were smoking Newports for the past 35 years. You look like an auto mechanic named Frank. You are not a woman, nor do you appear as one, nor do you have female body parts at all. You still got all your male body parts you had from birth. Okay.
So he's talking about women, and then he's talking about male and female. So again, he's conflating the terminology.
The law, you can't do that. You must be searched as a woman. I'm not sure how that's really going to work, but it's right there in the law. California is a crazy place. I'm glad I don't live over on the West Coast, California, because
California is
like this,
wonky.
although it doesn't apply to me, I'm not going to the penitentiary. I'm not getting arrested, so it doesn't apply to me. But these types of laws that are being passed, as far as this whole 10-year quote-unquote window, the grace period, whatever they want to call it, men being housed with women in the penitentiary,
men being housed with women, again, blatant transphobia.
That's kind of failing. And I don't mean
this is society failing. No, this is society getting better.
And it's sad because you got regular people in California that do not identify with this crazy left-wing stuff that they're pushing.
Crazy left-wing stuff. It is crazy and left-wing to help people not get assaulted and put them in a place that makes more sense for them. I don't know. Being humane is crazy and leftist. Who would have known?
From Los Angeles and San Francisco, which is where your guy Scott Wiener is from. I showed you his picture. You see what's going on. You got guys like this.
His picture, dude. Like, what's wrong with his picture? He had a vest and a tie on, and he was just out and about. I don't know. There's nothing wrong with it. He's like, oh, he has the vest, and his vest is open, and he has the tie, and so he is sexually deviant, and it's bad, and we must end him. This is it. This man is taking over our society. We need to stop it. This is triggering me. I can't handle this. I'm going to speak out against his laws. It sucks. Why is he making the law and I'm not making the law? I want to make the laws. Why does he get to make the laws? He has his chest out, and I like it. But no, wait, what? That's how we be. That's this man in a nutshell.
In office, all right, politics are very important because, first of all, people have power in these positions. And
look at him. Look, he just said it. People have power in these positions. You're fucking jealous, dude. You're so jealous. You want it so bad. You want to be able to say, oh yeah, the trans women, yeah, the men, yeah, I want them all to go in the gulag and kill them. These people, if they could have their way, that is what they would do. That is what they would do, because authoritarian far-right people are always like this, okay? They are always like this. They never want to act like it, but that's how they do it. That's how they get you, right? He would totally be okay with a gulag, all right? I'm calling it. This dude would advocate for a gulag.
Run just to get the power to do whatever they want. It might not even be about money or trying to have a career or anything of the sort. They want to get into power so they can do whatever they want to do. This guy, Scott Wiener, wants to normalize...
He's projecting. He's projecting.
Homosexual lifestyle. If somebody is gay, that's fine. I'm not really worried about it, but I'm talking about the extreme.
If someone is gay, that's fine. Virtue signaling.
All right? I believe in being conservative. I believe in just thinking in
Yeah.
common sense.
Common sense. Yeah, being gay is not common sense to these people. If there are laws that are against gay people, these people vote for them. They don't even think about it all the time. Laws that really impact and ruin the lives of LGBT people, these people vote for those laws every time. Every time. So no matter what the law is, as long as it disadvantages them, these people will always vote for it. That's why I say, like, if there was a gulag, he would advocate for it. So
with what I'm talking about,
we'll leave that as it is.
You know, my way or the highway, you have no choice. You got to do what I say. There's no opposition. Then I become communist China. And
he's projecting, like, my way or the highway. He thinks that that's how leftists are. That's how conservatives are. Conservatives don't want anything to change. They don't want anything in society to progress. It's either we stay the same or they get really mad and start reeing like the Pepe the Frog emote on live streams. I don't know where I was going with that. All right, we're moving on.
I may think my way is right. It doesn't matter because I have to be diplomatic. I have to be able to invite other people in, and we got to find the middle ground. I'm not a king. I can't rule by fiat.
You wish you were a king, dude.
China, to where no dissension is tolerated. If you get caught saying something bad about the president, you go to get.
Okay, nobody likes communist China. I don't
do that here. Over
leftists don't think communist China is based. Sorry.
You have a different type of thing going on. You have a legal shift all the way to the left. Now, they say that as California goes, so does the nation.
Notice how he says that China is leftist when we know that China is not that progressive at all. They're kind of a homophobic place. They are not. They're authoritarian right. If I had to give my opinion on that, I think communist China is authoritarian right. It's not very liberal. It's not very left. So, again, misinformation.
Into that, we could put the wall up on the southern border and then put another one up right there between California, Nevada, Idaho, or whatever. Just put that wall straight on up so a lot of these crazy ideals can't get out. And if you're a good person in California.
Okay, so here he's going like, okay, yeah, just completely isolate these people, put a wall up between all of California. All right, it's showing a little bit. It's showing a little bit. He would go further if he was a king. He would. If he was a dictator, if he had power, he would go further. He's admitting that he would want to put a wall up around these people and isolate them because they're crazy. Again, I thought this man was diplomatic. He said he was diplomatic. He likes to talk about things. No, he wants to put a wall between them and all the crazy people in California. Man's contradicting himself in his own video. Wow.
California would give you a pass. You know, you come to Austin or somewhere like that, some kind of California enclave. As long as you don't make it too much like San Francisco, you'd be good to go. So as I close, I want to say this. This is not a good idea at all to house male inmates with females or females with males because, let's be clear, you do also have some biological women.
Biological women. Now. I love it when they say biological women.
That's going to be the worst
it just proves they're dumb.
Full-grown men, testosterone pumping, and you put a woman in there. That's the worst thing you could ever do.
Trans men are not women.
Like,
I said it.
Work? There's no way possible that a woman could be a male's cellmate. That's just it just is not going to work. I don't care if the person looks like the Roach from Men in Black, if they look like a pack of old lint in your pocket. I don't care how they look.
You don't care how they look. You don't care how they. So would you want Blair White to go to the men's prison, or ContraPoints, or Riley Grace? Yeah, Riley Grace. Would you want Buck Angel in the women's prison? Shut the fuck up with I don't care what these people look like. You're dumb.
Period. And you in the penitentiary with a man. Not even just the county jail where you at for a little while. You're talking about prison, the penitentiary. These guys might have been there 20 years, with no female contact of any significance, oh man, that is the worst thing you could do. Okay? Any woman in that situation would suffice. Don't do that. It's very dangerous. Okay? And if you're going to have them in ADSEG, away from other inmates, then what's the point in having them in the jail with the men? Just build a jail for people that have different type of lifestyles, identify as a furry or a cat or a dog or
furry
or whatever.
People who identify as a furry, cat, or dog, love that. Getting a little hip with the culture there. This is an interesting idea to make a separate prison, but I think that's kind of messed up. That's kind of like segregation based on gender identity. That's kind of weird. I understand like where he's coming from, because he said earlier that trans women in male prisons, that's dangerous for them and they're likely to be assaulted. And so I think that's where he's getting this idea from. But then he also said that he wants to put a wall among Californians because they're crazy. So again, this could be the gulag I was talking about. This he could be hinting at it here.
Have them over there and just have prisons for men and for women, and that's it. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? Do you think that it's a good idea to house?
Yes. Okay, shut up. All right, I'm done. I'm done. Let's end it. All right, shut up. Again, with the comments, California is straight up Sodom and Gomorrah. They even banned signing in church with a mask on. Every male prisoner in California suddenly just identified as female. These people clearly just don't understand the situations. They can't read. They can't read things like this. They're dumb. Yeah, don't listen to this guy. I don't know how he's this big and this dumb. I guess dumb people get big on YouTube. But yeah, that was that video. I'm gonna make a little bit of an announcement right now at the end of this video. I'm going to be streaming. I'll stream Tuesdays and Thursdays at 3 p.m. Eastern Time till whenever I'm done. Look out for that. Tuesdays, Thursdays, 3 p.m. Eastern Time. And I'll see you in the next one.